This year's releases have been a mess, so it's time to put the year out of its misery and finally rank them. Hi friends! Hi, my name is Mia and this is my virtual vanity, a place where we both love makeup and we're quite critical of it. I changed filming locations just for this video because Grandpa Cat is sleeping on the couch. Age before beauty. I'm not about to disturb his restful sleep. Today I'm doing a collaboration with my wonderful friend Millie from Badtothebrow, or as I like to call her, the multi-chrome queen. She does obviously a lot of multi-chrome content, indie content, reviews, swatches, creative looks. Her Instagram is an absolute delight, burst of color. I just love her look so much, man. She's a constant inspiration to me. So if by some chance you do not know her, I highly suggest checking her out. Today we are going to talk about our top 5 and bottom 5 releases of the year. I'm going to go in no particular order because for the top it would be like choosing my favorite children. For the worst it would be like choosing demons in hell. I will also mention that many of the things that I mention I have not tried. Some that are in my top I've actually tried, I actually own them and I love them. Others I have chosen based on the beauty community's response and the influence that they've had over the year, how much people still talk about them, how much they've ranked in favorites videos, the way people talked about them and how genuine I thought they was. So I'm taking it a bit situational for some items, while for some I'm speaking out of experience. I'm also going to remove any potential for bias and not mention any releases from people that I either consider YouTube friends or don't consider brand. Without further ado, let's start with the top and we will work our way down to the bottom as things are wont to do. Just like this year, we are going to start on a high note with hopes and dreams and then go downhill vertiginously and descend into all sorts of makeup circles of hell. So in no particular order, my top 5. The Nabla Skin Glazing and Skin Bronzing series have such a beautiful, unique formula. I feel Nabla has taken the industry by storm this year. They just keep outdoing themselves, man. Doing better and better and better. This is a hard pressed, I wouldn't say baked formula. It's quite unique, right? It's not a regular powder, but it's not baked either. And it leaves just the most gorgeous finish. I've not seen one person give this a bad review. I have 3 items in the line. I have a highlighter, I have a bronzer, I have a blush. All of them are already favorites in my collection and I can't see my life without them. Another item from Nabla that is in my top is in the Nabla Side by Side palette. Me talking about neutrals? Who am I? Am I right? But you know, you gotta give credit where credit is due, man. This is a beautiful, complex, versatile neutral palette. You've got pinky tones, you've got warm tones, you've got cooler tones, and you've even got some gray slate tones and a black. You literally have everything that you need to do. I feel this palette works for someone that is very into colorful makeup like I am, but also wants to dip their toe into neutrals from time to time. It would be a great companion palette for when you want to do something incredibly colorful and fairy-like on the lid but more subdued in the crease. But it will also be a great palette for people that just want an everyday neutral. A neutral palette done right. And I'm not saying that just because it's Nabla. Or maybe I am. Like at this point, I think that I've sold my firstborn to them without meaning to be honest. Third one is surprisingly another neutral palette. I've not tried the Natasha Denona Glam palette, but I have seen the way the community is still buzzing about it. It's still in people's favorites, seen very many good reviews about it, and I feel that it's a luxury, cool tone palette that a lot of people were looking forward to. And I feel it pads out the Natasha Denona range quite well. Listen, I'm not about to pay Natasha Denona prices again, and her formula, while very good, isn't necessarily the type of formula that is my favorite to work with. but I can appreciate it as something that has been admired and loved and used yet again by the community, you know? The other release that I feel is an amazing release for 2020 is the Fenty Cheeks Out Bronzers and Cream Blushes. This has taken the the cream makeup community by storm because of the beautiful and numerous shades that it has. Like, it's got something for everyone. It's got your standard rosy tones and neutrals. It's got more unusual colors like purples and yellows. Beautiful complex shade range. I was planning to grab a couple of shades of this, but then the pandemic hit and I'm not about to add more creams that will expire faster to my collection. But it's a testament to how good this release was that it's been months and months and months and I still think about those shades that I want to get. They're still in my wish list more than half a year past the release date. Last but not least, Propa Beauty. Propa Beauty is an indie brand and they came out with a series of lipstick catered to deep and medium skin tones. Of course, everyone of any skin tone, any gender can use them, but I feel that they were quite revolutionary in the fact that they started out with a clear niche. They catered to that niche and they did it in a spectacular fashion. Heavy, hefty packaging, beautiful formula from what I've heard, unique, beautiful shades that can vary from vampire to neutrals to nudes to statement colors depending on your skin tone. A beautiful, beautiful release. I've finished praising. Let's get to what you all were waiting for, aka me roasting some of this shit. Listen, there's been bad release after bad release in 2020. It was very hard picking what I wanted to put in this list. Like, at a certain point I had like 20. I had 20 items in this list. Brands have been doing the most. They've been pumping out the most mediocre, dusty, ashy, unoriginal concepts that they could come out of. They've tried and tried again to put their grabby hands in our wallets, and they've again and again failed because it's a pandemic and we're not putting up with this shit no more. So initially, I did not want to talk about he who shall not be named, the Voldemort of the makeup industry. This man is literally like a cockroach. You think him gone, and a few months later, he scurries again from one corner or the other in a more horrible form than the last. I don't understand how this man's every morning is not a Kafkian nightmare of him waking up as a literal cockroach because he insists on behaving like one. Yeah, obviously I'm talking about Jeffree Star, and 2 of his releases are on my bottom 5. Disregarding the fact that they're from him, let's disregard the fact that they're from a man that I absolutely despise, that I wish gone from this industry. I am critiquing these based purely on concept, naming, and how they stand out against other releases. The Orgy palette is one of the most tasteless and bland, uncooked chicken while trying to be provocative and edgy palettes that I have seen in a while. Those shades set in a gradient are absolutely nothing special, more or less the same tones. 3/4 of them will probably look ashy on someone that is a wee bit darker than me. So you've got 50 pans of literally nothing, and for what? Disregarding the colors themselves, you've got the names, which are absolutely... Listen, I'm no prude, right? Like, we're all adults here. Unless you're sexual, we're all fucking our brains out whenever we can. The problem is that when you make that your whole shtick in a palette, it takes away from the actual concept. It makes it look try hard. It makes it look like you're trying to coast on your edginess, which has been proved to be his marketing tactic again and again. I'm sick of it. The second palette that I want to mention from him is the Cremated palette. Whoever would have come out with this palette, it would have been still a shit idea. Like, how can you come out with a palette like this in the middle of a pandemic? I understand that stock was already completed, but in the conditions in which people are dying every day in pain, to come out with a palette called Cremated with names related to death for the shades is incredibly tacky and out of touch. You cannot tell me that Jeffrey Pink Mansion, separate arcade room, 7 Pomeranians star does not have enough money to slap a sticker on those palettes and name it something else. Put a sticker on it, make a public statement, say, listen guys, this was, you know, I'm edgy, this was done before the pandemic, this is not the time to release it, we're gonna put a sticker on it, it is what it is. He could have saved so much face just by being honest about it. No, Jeffree Star decided to be edgy once more. The third bad release that I want to talk about is comparatively innocuous. And it is bad because the expectations were so high, but it failed to meet any of them. Like, the bar was low, and this release decided to dug underneath it and tunnel like a mole rat. The Patrick Star one size first release makeup wipes and a makeup remover spray. In this economy, in this eco-conscious age, you decide to come out with makeup wipes when you don't have one single makeup item in your collection. And I have critiqued this in my anti-haul when that came out, but that is the most cash-grabbing release that you can come up with. Makeup wipes are so cheap to produce and they have such high markups that you can bet that for every box he paid cents while you were paying your good dollars. Yikes. Fourth release, P. Louise cancelled. I have a whole video on how I think that cancel culture as marketing is a whole thing, and they are using our outrage as a way to promote themselves. P. Louise is no stranger to this. P. Louise has decided to come out with a cancelled collection for 2 reasons. Because she's edgy, and because now when you search for P. Louise cancelled, instead of finding her transgressions, you're going to find this 50 Shades of Poop palette. It's an ugly palette with an ugly ass concept, and I will not stand for it. Last but not least, just out of sheer ridiculousness, Beauty Blender Zodiac. Beauty Blender, I think they've done like some form of pact with the devil, where the devil promised them riches and popularity, but the catch was that they can only put out stupid shit. You are literally asking $20-something for a sponge, and then you have the audacity to put out a Zodiac set? Why? Why would you have indents in your makeup sponge to catch extra product and all of the mold? Profiting of a gimmick, it's the laziest goddamn release that I've seen all year, and Morphe has had plenty of releases. So the bar was low, the bar was so low, yet Beauty Blender decided to pull a Jules Verne and go through the center of the earth instead of stepping at least 1 inch above said bar. 2020 is full of bad vibes and it's full of bad releases. There were some gems, but goddamn 90% of what we saw is complete trash. Trash, I said. Anyway, this was it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to check out Millie's video and channel linked down below. My look over here is also going to be linked down below. I'll probably post it on Instagram at a certain point. If you're not following my Instagram, please do. I post looks over there. Less salt, more looks, if that's what you're into. Again, thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to have a wonderful morning, evening, second breakfast, third lunch, or whatever it is you're from. Bye!